Hello, hello. Hope everyone's doing okay today. We're on day 17 here for top 10 for 30. And today I gotta say probably everybody's gonna resonate with the topic here. And we all have times during the day, at night, that we are in our heads. And I like to call this my shitty committee. It's that head chatter, right? We've got so much going on in our lives. We have jobs. Our days are packed. Our days are packed. Okay. Our days are packed in the present today. We've got kids, we've got jobs, we've got lots to do. There's always so much to do. Where we live in a very materialistic world. Society is extremely materialistic. So it's kind of a rat race, right? Who's got the better cars? Who's got the nicer houses? Who's going on the most trips? Who can keep up with the biggest and best toys? Who can throw the biggest parties? It just, the social acceptance, the want and the need, really. Our species has a need to fit in, but we've blown it. We've blown it right up. Humanity has blown it up, and so we are logically, intellectually, we can't keep up. So our mindset, that head chatter, that shitty committee, it's difficult to quiet it. All right. And much of historically the recommendations, the medical recommendations have been, if you can't sleep, if your anxiety is high, if you're having really low days and you're feeling, depressed, if you can't quiet that mind, go and see your doctor. By all means, there's definitely a place for this. But what we've seen historically, especially within the last 20, 30 years here, is go see your doctor, and you're in there. Not all, but many, as we see what's going on. And we go in, we talk to the doc, and many times we're referred to psychiatrists, and we get diagnosed and we get some medication. All right. And by all means, there's a place for that. However, there's also a very big part of that equation, that therapeutic recommendation, that is missing. It's missing. And again, it's taking us out of the equation. Our body's ability, our mind, our ability to cope and to quiet our mind, and to and put some mindfulness in, without, again, looking outside of ourselves, constantly looking outside, looking for the next best thing, next best trend, next best medication. What is going to help me relax and quiet that shitty committee? And what happens is, a lot of times, many times, is we're not giving the tools that we actually have, our bodies. And again, I'm not getting too much into the biology here, just bore you with it, and it's 10 minutes, but it's fascinating. We have chemicals in our brains, that when combined with the right mindfulness, we are able to release these chemicals in our brain in order for us to minimize, help alleviate that anxiety. And we're not practicing that enough. And I know we hear about the meditation and the mindfulness and take deep breaths and get in nature and exercise. But you've really, especially if you've been on your meds, I know some people have been on their medication 20, 25 years, same medication, for sleep, for anxiety. And what happens is it really prohibits the ability to for your own mind to release and produce your natural endorphins, the natural happy chemicals like the dopamines, the serotonin. It's We have that ability to do that. And that's the piece that's missing in a lot of our therapeutic approaches is we come in with a crisis. We come in with literally panicking. I have some clients dealt with this recently, literally in a complete panic attack. Okay. And we're very quick to refer to medical. We're very quick to refer, but as we see right now, the medical system is tapping out. I mean, there's definitely a shift that's going to be coming in to say we need resources for mental health and addiction. But right now, there's a little bit of a collapse there as we're seeing, and I have hope, and I know that due to this, there is going to be attention put to that. But we forgot the ability to be able to have the intelligence and the wisdom to practice simple, even just breathing, allowing oxygen to get to your brain. Because when we are in panic and when somebody's having a panic attack, where are they breathing from? They're breathing from their mouth. And then what happens is the breath, you're not getting no direct, it's short, shallow breath, short, shallow oxygen that is getting to the brain. Okay. And then what happens is you send a signal. So you got some bad news. Let's say you got a text, that you were triggered from because of the trauma you've experienced as a child. Very complex, of course. But this has set you off into a panic. You are now having an anxiety attack. You are panicking. Okay. And what happens is you send your body the signal that it is in danger. You are no longer feeling safe. So the breathing gets heavy. The muscles, they get really tight and they retract, and you are literally in fight, or freeze. And you are sending your mind, you've seen the text, I'm just using the text for example, because we're always on our phones. See the text, got the bad news, we're shamed, there was a comment made, anything in life. That shitty committee starts, heart starts pumping, it's psychological. Now we're physiologically feeling the effects of that. And if we are not interrupting it with mindfulness that you have the ability to do in your own home, you have the prescription as well. I'm not saying there's not a place for medication. It's not what I'm saying here. But what I am saying here, there needs to be a combination approach here. And we need to start empowering our patients, our clients, the collective, to start taking responsibility for how they are responding to something. And then what are they doing to interrupt? Because once that anxiety starts, if you are not simply getting oxygen to your brain properly, your body thinks it's running from a fucking bear. It doesn't know. Your body does not have eyes, but you are sending the signal. You are responding in a way that you are telling your body that you are not safe anymore. And if you're not feeling safe, you're not breathing properly. Your muscles are tense. You are shaking. You are dizzy. These are very much signs, and it feels like you're having a heart attack. And I know some of you can relate to this. And when we start practicing even 15 minutes 15 minutes, let's say 3 times a day, when you're really having a difficult time with your head chatter. I mean, I deal with clients sometimes that they're at the point right now that they want to end it because it's so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable in their bodies. They don't feel safe in their bodies. They don't feel safe in their heads. Really recognizing what amazing ability that you have to even just do a body scan, and relax from head to toe. Big breathing. And this, again, you go on YouTube to do a body scan activity for 15 minutes, 3 times a day. You're going to flip and this is obviously combined with making sure that you have, supports. I'm talking about, I mean, this is one recommendation here. This is an interruption that when you are physically having the mind chatter gets to the point where you're not feeling safe and you start to get a panic attack, and then you automatically run to the doc. And then you're going back to the doc anyways, and it's the cycle. It's the cycle that's no longer working for us. We need to start taking control and command of how we are responding to our own crises. And when there's recommendations like the ones I'm going to give you here, just simply, I go through a lot of this in my signature program especially, but simply going on the YouTube and doing a full body scan with breathing in through your nose, automatically you are going to start to release chemicals that tell your body that you are no longer in danger. That is mindfulness. That's simple. There's so many different mindfulness techniques, but that will interrupt. It will interrupt. And when you start sending those messages to your body, your muscles start to relax. The chemicals start to come in that feel good, that puts you in a place of stability. All right. But what are we doing at home? Okay. That many of our docs, and by all means, they're doing the best that they can right now with what they have. But what are we doing at home to help quiet that head chatter? Help quiet the body and put it in some peace for a second. Start practicing that. Okay. Start practicing the mind, body, spirit that you visualize. Okay. And when you are triggered and you start that heavy breathing and you start that panic, or your jaw is just about to, you feel it everywhere. And when you start applying techniques like the breathing, getting out in nature, huge, interrupting. Because when you're sitting around the table with your shitty committee, you're in it. The days go by, hours and days go by, weeks go by, months go by. You're not putting anything in there to interrupt this mental and physiological crisis, because it turns into crisis for many of us. All right. And I'm going to leave you with that. I'll leave you with that. Quieting the head chatter, telling the shitty committee to go and take a break, but connecting physiologically. How are you taking care of your body in that moment? What are you doing to interrupt the head chatter? Okay, I'll leave you with that. Sending you all the light, all the love, and we'll connect again tomorrow. Bye for now.